Are calling our meeting to order. Thank you everyone for coming, February 18th. Shortly after 6 p.m. here, call it to order. Please stand for the flag salute. Keith, would you like to lead the flag salute, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome to our public. I don't think I have any announcements.
So there's nobody that's zoomed in?
Not yet.
All right.
Not yet.
All right, so let's go to the agenda. Has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda? Are there any corrections or additions? I have a couple of things. On item 3, the consent agenda, I'd like to add item E that would be titled ratify January 21st consent agenda. As in reading the minutes, you'll notice that we discussed everything, but we didn't vote on the consent agenda itself, which I have trouble believing that we missed that.
We did, we voted on it.
No, we
Did we?
did not. No, we didn't.
We did not?
We did not.
You watched the video.
So,
We did it.
so what we'll do is ratify the consent agenda, which was reviewed by the board.
Or we did the approval of agenda, but not the consent agenda. So,
Then, we are not doing, policy 3205 right now. We put it aside. Okay.
We sure did.
Okay. And then, I'd like to add item 10, a new item 10, and change item 10 to 11. And the new item 10 will be an executive session under RCW 4230-110, section G, to evaluate the qualifications of an applicant for employment or to review the performance of a public employee. And then let's see. I think that's it. Anything else I have will come under old business or new business. Does anyone else have any changes to the agenda?
I have a question. So we're gonna review the minutes of regular board meeting of November 18th.
And that's probably
Yes.
because we made a change.
we did.
Okay,
And,
So they just need to be approved and signed.
okay.
do you have a clean copy in here?
It should, yep.
Okay,
And there's a clean one in the action items for you to sign.
okay, good question, Keith. Any other questions?
So March, the next board meeting, March 17th, does that fall on a holiday?
No.
No, unfortunately, March has 0 holidays the entire month.
Really?
St. Patrick's Day is not a federal holiday.
What is it?
St. Patrick's Day.
That's,
Just a fun
I knew I saw.
It's a fun one.
I knew I saw something on it.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect.
Now we can
Just
go
wear
a bit
green.
far.
Yeah, I'll just wear green. Okay. Well, I don't have to, I'm Irish.
Me too.
Okay.
Anyway.
If there's no other corrections or additions to the agenda, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as corrected.
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the agenda as modified. Any further discussion or comment? All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye. Okay, sounds like that motion passed. Thank you very much.
I didn't say it, but my eyes.
Okay.
All right, let's go on to the consent agenda and with the review of the minutes from the November 18th meeting, which we did review before, but we made a correction until somewhere in this notebook, they're there.
And
Here they are.
consent agenda.
Let's see, I think the,
And so what was the correction?
It was on B, B superintendent's report. The 3 I's, the school received some new COVID tests on site, the school. will
Oh, right, we made that.
Administer the test.
Okay.
see, any other comments on those minutes? If not, let's move to the minutes of January 21st. Meeting, which was our last meeting.
Did we all sign that we had passed the payroll and all that stuff by a 5-0 vote?
Pardon?
Or must have.
You signed it.
I believe we did.
I don't know if you voted on it, but you signed it. So there was nothing in there.
So did you have something else that for us to sign for the November 18th, or you want to sign the?
No, actually, just Kelly and Anita sign it.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay,
just.
perfect.
It's
even better.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's move on to review of AP vouchers.
So did you want to approve these minutes? Last month's minutes?
We'll approve the whole consent agenda.
Okay.
And we'll make sure we do that this time. Well, isn't it amazing how much all these little $10, $20, $30 things can add up?
So are we going
Interesting
to,
that we have to pay the fee to the emergency radio system.
or are we going to vote on getting the Chromebooks?
I believe that's gonna come up in the superintendent's report.
Okay,
It's exciting news to share.
it's nice.
Little bit.
So that cost for the radio maintenance covers the big antenna that handles all the communication for emergency services. So I guess schools are part of that. I didn't realize that. Interesting. What is the invoice for $21,000 for?
Oh, so that is, it's from the modernization grant. It is, 20,000 of that gets fully reimbursed.
So that's to pay the gentleman that wrote the grants and submitted them to the legislature.
Yes, so the actual cost of that is $1,000, so 20,000 of that's coming back.
Okay,
Is that to the ESD or is that the?
Yeah, so it goes to, yes, the ESC, and then we're reimbursed for 20,000 of it from the state. Why there was a $1,000 difference, I'm not entirely sure, because most of that was started over the summer, but that is where the numbers landed,
So we're gonna get that reimbursed.
100%, yeah, it's
Within this school year.
like
Within
next
this-
month.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we could have tried to really push the timing to make it all in 1 month, but it wasn't.
Matter as long as it's good in this
Yeah.
budget and this.
Yeah, the money has been
Yeah.
sitting, the 20,000's been ready to come back to us as soon as the 21,000 is paid.
okay.
The HVAC repair, are we feeling better about the
We're getting there.
state of our HVAC?
We are starting to feel a little bit better about the state of our HVAC.
And the radio maintenance, the annual radio maintenance.
Yeah, that's the one I was saying. I'm surprised we have to pay that.
What
Yeah,
it
but
is?
I've been Almost 3,000?
It's, and it's an annual fee.
Yeah,
And what
it
they
says
do is
annual.
they take the entire cost every year and they divide it by estimated usage or something. Because I know
How do
that
they-
they charge, the fire departments, the EMS, the hospital district. So I'm surprised we're part of it, but,
I don't even,
the question we should ask the county, why are we a part of it?
yeah.
Do we use it on our buses?
Pardon?
We don't use it on the buses, do we?
I would assume.
The
Radio-
radios on the
on the
buses, do they?
The buses
That's-
use a county radio, yes,
So that's what.
yeah,
So we have a county radio that we use?
the bus radio,
Oh,
yeah,
good
school bus.
point.
yeah,
Good
school
point.
bus.
Very good point. That's exactly
So the
it.
buses communicate back to the office.
Yes, right.
Right,
Very good. Thanks for, thanks for thinking of that.
in the office.
Yeah, there's one right outside my door and there's one,
I
at
had that
by
for
Lisa's
quite a
office.
while. Yeah.
And we've
Yeah,
had to
so
use it.
that's our
so.
share of that cost for that
just
tower and the
Didn't
service.
remember seeing that amount.
I don't think I've ever,
I mean, you know, maybe it just stands out because there aren't other large bills this time. They're all.
only the
Yeah,
HVAC.
I mean, yeah, right, but
Yeah,
others are just, just.
right. But it is a large amount, because I know I used to see it all the time with EMS and the fire district. MAV, the mill A volunteers, we didn't pay for it. Didn't pay about that much.
Does the fire district pay, a lease for the land of that building up there?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so I know the building is for the fire department and it's occupied and used for the fire department. So we're looking at getting another truck for the fire department. And when that happens, that Chevy Suburban is gonna have to vacate.
If we're ever successful in getting another truck. The issue with that is if we get another truck, that fire hall won't handle a newer truck.
Depends on the truck.
Depends on the truck, that's right.
truck. Yeah, we're looking at trying to get another brush truck. Now, if we get a tanker like I want, I really think we need a tanker, like what we used to have.
Mhm.
Like a tender or not take
No, a
tanker.
tank, just 5,000 gallons of water.
But it would be used as a tender,
all we
you're
need.
actually right, yes.
Yeah, so,
And we do need that because it's so hard for us to acquire water.
right, so we're looking at a couple of things. We're looking at tapping into, we don't know how big that reservoir is up here. But we gotta figure out who owns the land, whose reservoir it is, figure all that out. But anyways,
Where
back to
you're
the,
pointing is up the hill across the
yeah,
road.
it's
up above
actually
Angela
beside,
John's house.
it's the one that used to feed actually
The
the
water.
school.
School,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So if we could, we're hoping we could tap into that, bring a pipe down and put a fire hydrant right on the other side of the street. If we do it, if we dig a trench and put it on that side of the driveway, we don't have to tear up the driveway. So it should actually work out.
so if
Put
we're
it on.
successful in getting a new fire hall, or if we aren't, we
Yeah.
might try to get that done separately. So a couple people walked up and take a look at the reservoir, it's a country tank, just like your water system has.
How
That'd
big
be
is it?
great. Pardon?
How big?
Well, I.
Couldn't really tell,
Huh?
couldn't really tell how big it was.
It's-
Is it
yeah,
partially buried or something?
Huh? Well, it's buried.
It's
No,
very.
it's
it must be
concrete
totally-
reservoir.
Yeah.
So you
Otherwise
you
it'd
open
be
the
able
tank
to-
up, you look
yeah.
down, it's crystal clear
I
water.
didn't walk up
but-
there, so.
But you can't, it's just a totally buried cistern. Like what we're
Yes.
looking at.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
so there's a
that
lot of
was where you
exciting
got-
things, a lot of exciting things coming up with the fire department and partnerships with the school
I
district.
just, yeah, I mean, because the tank, I mean, the water came down and the tank's out here for the school.
But
Right
the
by the
line,
tennis courts.
but the
but-
line from
But
that,
the line,
it busted.
right, but I'm just saying, I don't know how big that would be, cause it was only supplying water to one. Initially to
Yeah, we
gotta figure
We don't know, we're we're in the process of trying to start to figure things out. We wanna, first of all, we need to find out who owns the land, who actually owns that cistern. So once then we could talk to them, and then maybe
It's up
somebody,
there a ways, so.
yeah,
So the,
which is awesome because it gives us gravity, it's a gravity fed. so
Right, but I
more
mean,
pressure.
it's past where Bob Rogers.
It's,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
right beside John Laurel's house, right behind it.
yeah, the tank is actually right over the property line on, the land owned. It might be WKO or Green Mountain or
Right.
something, and so.
Yeah,
Someone, the fire department commissioners have to approve someone to make contact with them.
right,
But, and then the line comes straight down, you can see it on the aerial, you can see the line comes straight down. And,
So,
it's
How
possible
long
that
has it been in there? Does it show
since the
that?
construction of the school. Originally, when
Just
the
then?
school was built,
Okay.
unless it supplied water to where Bob Rogers lives. But the line that you can see that comes from the school doesn't
Thank you.
show a branch, but that is the same cistern, I think his water comes
Because I
from.
think that, yeah, I think that's the Greens.
Mhm.
I mean, Jim.
For the original homes, yeah.
The original, yeah.
Bob's reservoir is further down this way in the woods there.
Okay, did he show that to you when you guys
He
walked in?
told us about it.
Okay.
Okay, if that's the case, then that was Jim's.
Yeah,
If,
There's
if that's where
multiple,
Bob's,
so there's multiple reservoirs up there.
yeah,
okay,
cause it
Great
doesn't
bed.
feed the Morals either, so the Morals have a different
Uh-huh.
reservoir.
so the upper one is the
It's
schools
the one with schools,
and
yeah.
the lower one is the,
Bob's.
where,
Bob's, yeah,
Yeah,
cause
Bob's,
when
where Jim
Jim, I
Green
mean,
was.
when Dennis and Bill walked it, Bob was with them.
Mhm.
And John told us in the woods there, it's all marshy and stuff, like it's got a broken line and oozing out.
Always been marshy all the way down there.
So the benefit, though, to the school district is that we would put in a fire hydrant for the school district as well as being able to fill up the trucks.
if it's right on the other
Yeah.
side of the street, it
Yeah,
benefit this whole area.
and then the question would be, there's so much to learn, but this water tank here isn't used because the Mill A water system provides water to the school now, right? Yeah, and so whether you want to use that one or come straight down, you'd have plenty of pressure. But anyway, so we gotta get back
So-
here.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead. That's okay, go ahead.
Fire, the fire department pays the school?
There's a lease agreement with there's a minimal fee that the fire department pays the school to lease the land. The Mill A volunteers paid the school a minimum amount, extremely minimum. $1.
It's like $1.
Okay, I
A
was
year.
gonna say, I don't remember seeing that in years past, yeah, okay.
The lease
Gotcha.
agreement said $1. I don't know if it ever got paid, but Terry Handel might have collected it once.
Yeah,
And he's, but anyway.
You're not proposing eviction. For not-
I mean,
no,
And then when Fire District 1 took over, they negotiated a lease with us. And, so
Well,
it's in the
it
file
should
somewhere.
be $1 a year.
It's not, it's more than that, but
Well, whatever it is, it should be every year. It should be a consistent.
it is, there's an annual lease
Yeah,
payment, right?
Yeah, cause I had Pat Driver wanted to use a part of my land as a driveway, and I told him I'll charge you $1 a year. And he got pretty upset at me, and I told him, I said, look, if I don't charge you that $1 a year, after 10 years, it's your driveway.
right,
So, yeah, $1 a year, and he never used it. So then I sold him a half an acre, so he uses it anyway, so I'm like, whatever.
yeah, but you're right, and
Yeah.
that's the only way to do it, yeah.
So
Yeah.
do we have a payroll?
Like
piece
you
of
do a
paper
30-year lease too, or
With the
something like
payroll
that.
amount on
I'm
it?
sorry,
$1 a year is fine, and to tell you the truth, I don't even care if you give me $1.
You just want terms, you want
I
the
just
fine.
want the terms that you're not gonna take ownership of
My
that strip of land, but
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
this isn't your land, Yeah.
I'm just letting you use it.
but I'll
yeah.
sell it to you.
So let's go on to payroll if it's okay. I mean, I like to encourage communication because I think it just helps us maintain.
Yeah.
A good working team. But the payroll that we'll be approving when we do the consent agenda, the total this month is $1,123,061.71. And then I guess I told you I was adding item E. I probably should have switched D and E, but is there any questions on the ratification? I think we already kind of discussed that.
Well, since we added it as E, why don't we should just approve our consent agenda and then approve the previous
Okay.
consent agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, so any other questions or discussions on item A through D of the consent agenda?
No. I move that we approve the consent agenda items A, B, and C.
Well, second.
Okay, any further discussions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So item E, ratify the January 21st consent agenda.
I move that we approve the January 21st consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Let's move on to public comment.
You got anything to say, Robbie?
Yeah, I wanna drink your Coca-Cola.
Huh?
I wanna drink of your Coca-Cola.
Make sure that gets the minutes.
Definitely.
Robbie wanted to drink Bill's Coca-Cola.
Well, he brought an extra.
Well, that was mine, but I said I didn't want a whole one, I won't sleep.
It's
Oh,
not
okay.
really, and doesn't matter the order.
Well, I'll pass two that way and two this way for signature, please. Well, thank you for coming, Robbie.
Anytime.
That one all around. Thank you.
Even the check register says that we passed this as of January 13th, February 13th.
Oh, the date didn't get changed.
Oh.
Is it okay if I change it and we all initial it? Do the rest of those say February 13th as well?
This one says the 18th, this one says the 18th. Is that correct? Just that one, this one says the 13th.
January,
February.
February. Oh.
Can we make a motion to approve initialing the change on these? And then if the treasurer doesn't accept it?
It's going from the 13th to the 18th.
Right.
So if you put it in a typewriter and you hit 8,
We're
It'll
like
just-
changing the.
it'll just
13 to
put a kink on the.
You just need that little.
You,
We need a
it would
black-
be hard
we need
pressed
a
to get
thin
that in a
black
typewriter. Yeah, I guarantee you.
Yes, I,
Good thought.
Well, we're gonna cite them and if somebody complains, we'll have to.
Well, they're very picky over there. You'll find out more about that in a few minutes.
And this one goes that way. These two go this way.
oh, you're up next, huh? You cold?
Not anymore.
I was gonna say, holy cow,
I was.
this thing.
Yeah.
Robbie saved me.
Yeah, you saw me take mine off, my jacket off and then immediately put it back on.
I'm always,
I
if I'm not,
I wore a lighter weight one so I could do that.
if I'm not moving, I'm
Then
cold.
rolled up my sleeves.
Yeah, okay.
I either have to be moving or I'm cold.
I would ask you to share that, but I don't think Greta would appreciate that.
Wow. You might understand.
My husband was that opposite of me.
Oh, always.
Too warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm all like, to go.
My husband is in like
Isn't that
shorts and a t-shirt,
I know, mine
And I'm
is
like,
uh-huh,
wool socks, sweatpants, a hoodie,
yeah.
stocking cap.
Yeah.
Robbie's that way, but 15 minutes later,
People keep telling me that's
Well,
gonna
that's
happen,
a
and I'm
whole
like, bring it
different
on.
That's the way Jetty is. I got used to just wearing a sweatshirt all the time now. Cause we'd get in the car and it's snowing. It's cold outside and we'll start down the road and all of a sudden, next thing I know, the window goes down, the air conditioner goes on. She sticks her head out the window and I'm like, would you take your coat off first?
then
Come on.
summertime, you can't roll down the window
Would you
or
like a
anything.
motion?
Yeah.
That says that we authorize you to change by hand the date on the following documents. And then if the county treasurer does not accept that, so I move that we authorize our superintendent to change the date on AP check register, which approves payments totaling $168,047.44 from February 13th to February 18th. Also authorized to change the date on the Millie School District number 31 payroll for the amount of $123,061.71. That's it, those two items. I think that,
Yeah, we'll see if they'll,
It might,
Lisa said if you change the date with a blue pin and have Anita initial it, it'll be fine.
okay,
and have Nita what?
Have Anita initial.
Have Anita initial it with a blue pen.
as long
It
as
will be
it's blue,
fine.
so they know.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's authorize me to do that.
Yeah.
Should
Yeah,
make a
just-
motion to say that and
Yeah,
all in
Perfect.
favor,
just to correct the typo.
Make a
Yeah.
motion.
okay.
yeah,
All
as
right.
long as that, because I was gonna say that making a motion in the
Did you
meeting
motion that?
and until these minutes, it would be in the minutes, but they wouldn't have been approved until next meeting. Might
And we
not have
run
done a
into
thing.
problems like that, so you're absolutely right, so I withdraw my
Yeah.
motion to make
Okay.
everything
Okay.
clear, there is no motion.
You're
You're
by the general consent of the board, you're making you're
yeah,
correcting
a
a
date,
mistake.
correcting a
A
typo.
You're correcting a typo, that's all
Yeah,
you're
that's
doing.
all it is, yeah,
And we're all signing.
The treasurer has been pretty
right,
gentle with us.
she's pretty, yeah.
It's my stack of papers y'all are about to sign.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
We're halfway through the year now, the school year.
We are more than.
Okay, that part's done. All right, we are on to,
Super.
We're ready.
April, May, and June.
Not more than half.
we already did the public
We're
comment,
not more.
pardon?
We're in semester 2.
Or after 100 days.
Okay. Okay,
Schooling,
I'm
student
doing
contact.
fiscal,
Yeah,
I'm doing fiscal year, cause we deal in fiscal year as a board.
Well, I'm just
We're
looking
not
at
6 months into
which
the,
part, yes, which school
school
year?
year. Well, so
This is our
how much
sixth
money do we
quarterly,
spend in the
This
summer?
is our
That would
sixth-
explain a lot.
Well,
The end of
okay,
February
which
would be 6
calendar are you
months.
asking about? This,
Uh,
the like student school year or like
Well,
the
we're-
fiscal year?
Yeah, we're in the student 24-25.
exactly,
So
but.
we just
yeah,
had-
the rest of it does-
We're more than halfway through the student school year, we're not halfway through the fiscal year.
So for our
Right, yeah.
budget, we are at 42% of the year, 41.6666.
Okay,
So, but it is good to remember that teachers get paid 12 for 12 months, so you can't assume that the summertime is gonna cost us less money.
Which is,
Right.
yeah, which is one
Significant
reason
amount.
to
Yeah,
think of it fiscally as a, it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
well, that's why it's asking how much you would spend during the summer.
Yeah, that,
Which is
and
actually
that's
only
what I
two and
don't
a half
have a
months,
good
so.
feel for, but I do know that, all of our teachers are paid 12 months out of the year. So it's where we don't have classified staff that would be here, and maybe our heat would be down and other trusts would
What
be
about
left.
faculty? Does
And
everybody else get paid? Everybody, including the teachers?
No, classified staff are paid hourly.
Okay,
And things like, supplemental contracts have been, like, got paid at the beginning of the year, like, right? So like,
Right.
there are things, expenses that happen early in the year
It was about
that aren't,
front loaded expenses.
they're, yeah.
Right.
So like, that
Okay.
impacts us a little bit heavier on the front end than
Yes.
on the back. end.
supplies that, yeah.
Yeah,
supplies
so
to the-
like,
Cause we did a lot of
We're
that.
buying a lot
right.
of curriculum,
Yeah.
like, you know, a few teachers are done buying curriculum for the whole year, they don't need to buy anymore. Now that we're in second semester, they bought all their curriculum, like, right, so they won't be purchasing any more curriculum, they
Yeah.
bought, like, so those types of things are,
so the spending
going
should
to
kind of go
continue.
down a little bit, yeah.
Except,
Okay.
you know, summertime, they might decide earlier some things they want for next year and get them into August, which,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
yeah,
Okay,
that can happen, but not as expensive an amount as.
you know, and last year we had some unusual summer expenses because we had a lot of cleanup and organizing to do to
right.
prepare one of our classrooms and things like that, so.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I was asking, because I'm just looking at the percentages and everything of our annual budget or revenues. And, we look good.
Yeah. It looks good,
Same with expenditures, we look good.
yeah.
Now, one thing that we will have, when it comes to expenditures, we have liabilities, the liabilities for the union when
Right.
those wages are set,
Yeah.
we will have be some back pay.
But that's that's really not even that much, that's not a significant amount.
no.
Yeah.
The difference, yeah, so. I'm just wondering, when are we gonna, if and when are we going to talk about any more towards trailers?
When we start to talk about next year's budget.
Yeah,
So I did bring
So-
with us that I was going to bring up if Kelly isn't. We normally start our budget talks in March, at the March
Okay.
meeting, and we put together a calendar
Right.
of budget talks, and a lot of times we start with facility type things.
right. Well, I'm just, I just keep thinking that if there's any talks or plans or anything of building or doing anything this summer, you know, you kind of need to start talking about it here first way. Start figuring it out. Cause
That's
this
a-
summer's gonna come up pretty quick. There would be a lot to do ahead of time. That's
Yeah,
why I'm bringing it up.
yeah, I didn't know if you were gonna bring that up or not, but last year, we started our budget talks with the March meeting, again in the April meeting, and then we had our first workshop in May. And what that means to us, and the reason I brought it, it's last year, is just for the new people. We have more than one meeting a month quite often.
Right.
During budget season, definitely.
So we will need to prepare ourselves to be meeting 2 Mondays a month probably. During the budget session. And
So this is gonna be our meetings in our
no,
schedule?
this is last year's schedule. When
Okay.
Kelly gets it put together, then she will put together a plan for us to discuss each of the budget issues. We have a couple of deadlines. One regarding staff contracts, notification has to be made by May 15th on those, I believe. And then the only other real deadline is our advertising to the public for our public hearing.
Which they have. It's just a ridiculous schedule, like having a public hearing after we realistically have to pass what we've done anyway.
Well, I've always objected to the fact that we have a public hearing, and when the public hearing's open, we don't discuss the possibility of any changes due to public comments, we just pass it. So I think they should be two different meetings, but usually we're so late, we don't have time to do two different meetings.
Well, and the thing is, we have to, what we pass has to have been presented. So we have,
Yes.
that's where we'd have to wait 4 weeks and we can't get the stuff out of the state in time and everything just.
Yeah, that's it. It's the state thing. It's just where we don't know what apportionment's gonna be. We don't know until, the very last second.
Yes, that's exactly right, and then.
And so, yeah,
I mean, we could take public comment, which we do at all of our other meetings. But the thing is, we have to put out there what we wanna pass,
Yeah.
with
we put a
enough
budget
notice.
There,
and then we don't have time to like do another round of it.
yeah,
And-
so that's our final draft
Yeah.
that we hope we can approve, and
Yes.
so anyway, it's a pain in the neck.
Oh, yeah.
It's- yeah, it really is.
Finance is a
because
great
it-
time.
Yeah.
Okay, I hopefully some fun
So
things to
you've got
talk
a lot
about
of good
tonight.
questions that we need to bring up, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. This is all very good. In talking about this, one of the things that we've already done is, start kind of the, intent to return for our certified staff. Since it's not really a binding document, decided to do it as a Google form instead of a paper. So we've got 7 responses so far, all of which say they're coming back next year. So that's a pretty good start. Unless someone wins the lottery and then they'll retire.
Was that a
Is that-
comment?
Yeah, I actually have it open at this time. I will retire if I win the lottery. So. I appreciate the humor, but,
Probably everyone would agree that they would do the same.
probably not, actually, you guys are stuck with me. I might ask to work part-time. So I can go fishing more, but other than that, I'm here.
I retired and went back to work.
I know, I'd be way too bored and my
Bored.
family would not want me home that much.
I like
Yeah,
being,
my husband did that too,
Yeah,
yeah,
immediately.
so,
Oh,
I had 4 years off, so 4 years was,
Yeah, 3
the first 2 years was
all right.
awesome, the second year, third year.
Thinking about next year, we have the calendar that, I brought to you guys last month to just kind of get started looking at. We sent it out to staff. We had it available to the public at, the coffee chat or a tea talk, I can't remember which one we had, whichever one it was. Got a few comments on it, mostly positive. There was one question about the timing of the snow makeup days. And I want to address that openly to the public that's here. The question was about the February 13th. One of the reasons that the snow makeup days are coupled around holiday weekends is kind of also to build in some more extended weekends, because those longer weekends provide the break within the time that students and staff really need. So it really does twofold for us. Also, after kind of doing some research, historically, there have been enough years where we've had snow days in November, December, or January, that it's realistic that by the middle of February, we could need a makeup day. So having 3 built into the school year is really what we want, because you have to have 3 before you can ask for an exception to not need to make up any more than that. So I would ask the board to approve that calendar as it is, and if you need another copy,
So right now you have 5,
we have 5.
right? Okay.
Yeah, so on the crazy chance that we get a May snowstorm, we would not have had the ability to make up 3 days, right? We
Right.
have to have 3 makeup days before we can ask for an exception. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So that's why you build them in so late, but before you can ask the state to shorten your school date or school year below 180 days, you have to have made up 3 days. So that's why we throw the extra 2 on at the end of the year, just to have people. prepared.
What's that? Yeah, it's after the end of school anyway, so.
Right, so families are prepared that we might need to
Right.
extend.
Can I interject just
Yeah.
a question about, since you're talking calendar, it made me think about it. Online in our website, it didn't show the change in the board meeting. The new calendar didn't show that for this year. It changed to today for the board meeting.
The calendar that looks like this.
Well, our board meeting only changed due to the holiday.
holiday.
So
I know, but I'm just saying for people that look at.
So
if
that
we
might
on
have
the
come
agenda
tonight.
would tell them that though.
And
Yeah,
the
because we
website
normally don't do that.
as a
The-
date.
So
Yeah,
are you
just-
referring to like the PDF of the calendar, that like the whole year calendar?
Mhm.
So I don't, so yes, we didn't change this because it is adopted by the board and then we don't go in and make changes to it, but we publish,
Oh,
The-
but we made okay.
but we publish the meeting dates on the website also. So like,
Oh, okay,
however we.
that's okay then.
So on this one, you'll see that we, I think we did it right. For January and February, we put the board meeting on the Tuesday
Mhm.
instead of on the Monday holiday.
Right.
So,
I didn't realize that.
and I don't know that I caught close enough. So are you saying for the 24-25 school year, the board
I'm
meeting?
saying
is-
for this,
She was saying
This month.
she just went, like, if I went and looked,
Right, but
on
is
the
it
calendar-
start on the holiday itself? Is that, am I understanding that correctly? Like,
it
when you look on the
showed
website, does it show the board meeting on like the
Monday
the
before.
Monday?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that would be how the calendar got printed and adopted. So we haven't gone, we wouldn't go back and change the PDF. We would
Right.
just change it on the posting of the date, if that makes sense. Cause
Okay.
once you guys adopt this, we don't change it.
Okay.
they don't rebuild this.
We don't
It's not
rebuild it.
Easy to
Right.
just make a
Yeah.
small change.
Cause
It
it's
just-
a, cause
yeah,
it's a
just-
board, it's a
I was
board
looking
approved
at all
item.
the changes you made there and I just thought, oh. But that's, okay.
Cause it takes board
Okay.
approval to do the whole calendar. So even though you guys, I guess technically you approved moving the
We
meeting.
did.
You did.
It,
Yeah.
I don't know that gives me the authority to move it on here. Do you know
I
what
don't know,
I
I was
mean?
just thinking about it, somebody
We
that
actu-
might have.
Yeah, I see what you're
Thinking
saying,
it
and,
was last
and
week
maybe
and not know it had been moved to this week and, so.
in the future, maybe I will have to be more mindful of asking, like, do you want, like, getting a permission to change it on here if we make changes that would impact this?
How easy would it be to, like, do we have a version of last year's, like, is it like, oh, it was 10 minutes, there was a change, here's the updated version? Or
I
is it
mean-
like,
Lisa does it. The question is getting it changed in all the places where it is and the revision date. But if it's just the one posted on the website, I think, yes, with a revised on, I don't know that it would be that hard. Hopefully though,
I think
having
that
them
would
moved on
probably be
here
the only
would mitigate
really
that.
important
Oh.
one.
Yeah.
Is the one on the website, because
Mhm.
if that's where somebody would go to see, oh, there's a board
Correct.
meeting, oh, I wanna
No,
go
it is.
because I wanna add something. And then thinking it was last week.
Yeah, absolutely, that makes
Or
sense.
showing up last.
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay,
So you just need us to approve this right now?
When we get to action items.
Okay.
Okay, so. We also. Had the fire marshal come in. Sent. You guys should have gotten some things in writing about this, but I know email's been kind of spotty. We actually did fairly well, which was great. There are just a few things around the building that we'll be making changes, removing some things that are stacked too close to the ceiling, 24 inches. I was a little bit sad. Some of our anchor charts have to come down because there's too much paper on a couple of walls. Apparently you can have no more than 20% of your walls in an unsprinklered building covered. Which that made me a little sad. And then some really minor things like a couple of rooms needed updated emergency exit maps and things like that. The biggest things are some of our storage. So over the next couple of months, we'll be making some adjustments to our storage, which plays into our bigger facility needs, right? Like we know that we just don't have enough space. Hence your comment about what are we gonna do? So we'll be making some adjustments to the storage in like the loft area above the stage and how we're storing some of the things that are in the locker room and some of the things that are like in what used to be the dark room. And just sort of shifting them around, being more mindful of anything being in the hallway for egress and things like that. But overall, it was a really good visit by the fire marshal, and he even said like, as far as it goes, we're doing really well, so. I was really happy with that. My husband did laugh at me. He's like, you might be the only person on the planet who smiled when the fire marshal walked in. I was like, I knew we were doing a good job, so, I hope you guys are feeling good about that. So, one thing to keep in mind is that the kitchen does require a type 1 or 2 commercial hood.
Commercial
So,
what?
commercial hood above the,
Yeah.
stove. So, over the next several months, the fire marshal will work, with the district to start creating a plan about what that will look like. He was very understanding about what school finance it looks like versus the cost. So, it is not going to be something that is going to need to happen immediately. It's not necessarily something that we need to be really worried about from a like financial standpoint. When he said it, I think my face started to turn white. And then he realized that like he needed to explain to me, I don't need to come running to the board and ask for $15,000, like take a breath. We'll figure it out, so.
Is that what it costs?
It can, we don't even know what type of hood we need yet, so, it is more of a long-term planning thing, but since we have the modernization grant coming up, like. We explained that to him and he was like, oh, well, maybe the plan is. To look at how it factors into your modernization planning grant.
Nice.
We
There you
need to
go.
know that it's on the radar of something that we're going to do, and that in the meantime, we're doing a good job of maintaining. The filters and everything else, so that we're running a safe facility.
What do we have right now? Not a type 1 or 2 commercial, but.
Not a type 1 or 2 commercial hood, I really don't know what it's called.
So does the fire marshal have any comments or any role? And this is in our planning improvement grant, that we don't have handicap access from the gym.
He didn't talk about ADA compliance while he was here.
Okay.
He was more concerned with, and anything that was even close to that was, he did address some of like the, for lack of a better word, clutter. Like, right, so, we have some spaces in the building that, it is a challenge to walk through. So he did address the fact that like floor spaces should be clear. You should be able to easily walk through any space in the building. You know, no matter how small the space, you should be able to access all of it. You know, it's okay to have a shelf, but you can't have the entire floor covered of something.
I thought we had plenty of, for the gym. We used to take grandma in there all the time in the wheelchair, so.
Well, we do have access, but we don't have immediate egress.
Yeah.
Because you have to wheel down to this door, or you have to wheel up to the entry door for a wheelchair to get in and out.
So the back, the door that is out towards the playground has stairs, so
Right.
that's a problem.
But
And
there's
the other
another
one
door
Right here.
through.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can
that-
come out this door and
Well,
go
that-
there and go out that door. You have 2 different paths out.
We have,
That
yes,
door
but
right-
They're
that's out,
far.
but that's a long ways.
That
Yeah.
door right there has steps, but there's another door if you go through the other room.
Right. It
Does
has the
not.
ramp.
The stair at
Yeah.
the end of, there's also a ramp.
You go out the door,
There's
you
a
go down the
ramp.
steps, you can take a right and go down the ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying, I don't follow why you don't have, to me, that'd be plenty.
Those are building egress points, but from the gym itself, you have to go into the
Right.
building and follow down the hall. But we will, it's in
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
improvement.
So.
I just wondered if he had commented on that.
No, he was.
That's good then.
So it was all really, I mean, he was impressed that like our space heaters were plugged directly into the wall, like he walked in my office, it's the first thing he did, and I just smiled, I'm like. Yep, I'm like, not my first time, like, so it was a good visit. Very excited to remind everyone that our knowledgeable team is going to regionals on Mondays, so think about them and wish them
Nice.
luck.
Where's that being held at?
Longview,
Oh, okay, not too far.
so we'll be thinking good thoughts. We had 2 snow days. That was fun. We're gonna be working on a plan for an inclement weather early dismissal. I think that one of the things that we could have potentially done a little bit better on Thursday, I think my days, was call an early dismissal instead of a snow day. We call, but we didn't have a solid enough plan to do that. So,
But wasn't Thursday a late start? So you
because
can't
we,
have a-
well, we wouldn't have called the late start if we would have had a solid early dismissal plan, like,
I
right? So
gotcha.
as we were
I
tracking the
gotcha.
weather,
Okay.
one of the things that a lot of the districts did was call a late start in order to monitor the weather. There were a couple of districts that called an early dismissal based on the projection of the weather, and it ended up to be a good call.
Because the weather storm was late.
Because the weather storm was late. Now, 12:30, which is what we have for a Wednesday dismissal, would not have been a safe dismissal time for us. Because like, right, our standard Wednesday dismissal would not have been sufficient. So Naomi and Barbie and Amy and Lisa and a team of people and I are working to get together an inclement weather dismissal plan. Where we can, what is the earliest reasonable dismissal where we know that if weather is moving in later in the afternoon, we can have a morning of school and still get kids home safely, just so that we have another option for winter months. Just that we have, you know, all of the available tools that we can communicate to parents in advance, like, this is our late start plan, this is our early dismissal plan, this is our snow day plan, these are our snow routes. Just want to make sure that parents have all that information up front and they're prepared so that they have that. And we're never getting in a situation where we have students on campus going, oh, it's getting bad, we need to close school, and trying to do an emergency closure. Is that's one of the worst things I think that we could have happen.
Good luck with that. Sorry, but you know, you can look at the weather report for our area. We're in a little cul-de-sac. It's different than what they predict.
Absolutely, I mean,
And then we also are at the mercy of when the snowplow gets up here.
yes,
And it used to be snow plows, but I don't think we probably ever have more than one up here.
I think what you're saying is that if we have plans for an 11:30 dismissal and a 1:30 dismissal, then we just have something, we know what to do rather than trying to design, like, we have to get out of here. How
right,
are we gonna handle it?
Mhm.
and parents know, right?
Right.
So if they know 11:30 dismissal means the bus comes at this time, and they know that, like, in September, we hand them a packet that says, these are all of our inclement weather plans. Then they're ready, and then we remind them in November and we remind them in December, right? And so it's not like day of, we're going, oh, or the day before, right? So it just preparedness, I think, is the better plan, because you're right, we're not gonna get it right every time.
It's hard
It's
here.
just, it's really hard,
Yeah,
and you
Really
know,
hard.
those 4 AM text conversations, they're fun, but they're not always gonna be.
Yeah,
We're not always gonna know.
no.
So I
Yeah.
think this time, I think both calls were good. We got positive feedback for the most part. From families, they felt like it was the right call, which is nice, but I think having more plans and being more prepared is always good. Okay, I think I saved the best for last. We have done an incredible amount of research on getting the technology that we need. So I'm gonna hand out just a little 1-page piece of information, and if you would like the big packet that has all the specs, I only printed one because I wasn't sure who would all want it. But in working with, ESD for, helping us to find purchasing of Chromebooks, we were able to come up with what we feel is the right Chromebook for us. It has like military grade. I don't know what the correct word is.
Indestructible.
Yeah, basically,
You
yeah,
drop it, it won't break.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I knew that was.
It's military grade something, the last word is just not, it's in here.
Military grade protective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so these are, it is Lenovo, which Doug says, he's had really good luck working with them as far as like replacement and things like that. So we are going to be able to purchase, Chromebooks, within budget. And,
How many are you gonna purchase first?
25.
Nice.
And then when we start looking at the budget for next year, one of the things I like to do is start talking about what the technology adoption cycle should be. That way we aren't having to shift funds around. I don't think Chromebooks change in price that much dramatically year to year. If the board wants to purchase another full class set, like, right, I think we'll purchase another class set next year. And then we'll get on like a
Rotation.
small adoption cycle, right? 25 gives us enough that we don't even really need to purchase a protection plan. Because if they get dropped and broken, we just take one out of the box. I mean, we have 15 students, right? Like, that's enough.
Yeah.
We're not in a position where we really need more than that. ESD is gonna come in and support the rapid adoption of this. Also within, a budgeted amount that we can afford, without really with just shifting money from what we've got in like the technology and other places budget. So we can ensure that the rollout will be fast, smooth and accurate.
So this she'll be paid out of our technology category, but will probably be more than what's budgeted in that court portion, but she's got money that will cover the total cost, so the whole category itself is not overrun.
Mhm.
And then the ESD part will probably be professional services, is that right?
Mhm. Yeah, we've done an extensive amount of research and trying to figure out what was the right machine for us, and this is what we settled on.
Are these used a lot in with ESG?
Yeah, they look really
Do you want?
environmentally hardened, waterproof keywords. It's like, it's.
I printed that for Eric.
Bomb group.
Oh, what?
I printed the full specs for you.
You get the full packet.
I also, asked, ESD let me know that Evergreen had 2 Chromebook carts that they were willing to donate to us.
Nice.
And so, we will be getting 2 Chromebook carts. Carts, yeah, so, the computers get stored on the cart and charged, so you can, in the classroom, so you have a nice place to keep them organized, so those are gonna be coming as well. And then,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it, a grant to possibly support some of the cost. So even if we don't get it, it's still the Chromebooks are just affordable. That's why schools use them. They last a really long time. It's what the districts all around us are using. I reached out to several other superintendents just to see what they were using, how happy they were. I think it'll be a really good step forward.
Then we're gonna get on like a 3-year lifespan or something, like 3-4 year lifespan and replace them every. Like 20%.
I think that, I mean, I don't even think we need to replace them that quickly, but that would maybe
How many classes are you talking about filling up with these?
2 for now.
Okay.
for now? How many ultimately do you want?
I would like to get down to K2. I'd like to have Chromebooks K8. But I start with 3 through 8.
I'm
This
just
year,
curious.
these are going to the 3-5 classroom because they don't have any.
I got a 5-year-old grandson that plays on computers all the time now, so.
Well, that makes sense too, like, the way, if we phase them in, then it just builds into a nice replacement cycle of like doing
Mhm.
20% a year or whatever, 25.
So, do you think there's any chance that we can access what we just purchased and get a little bit of money back? Do you think those things would have any value at all? We get a little bit out of them?
And that hurts.
The ones we just purchased last year, we didn't spend very much money on that though.
Well, they're used, we bought
I thought-
used, well, they're not, what's
I thought a bunch of them-
revitalized or whatever.
Condition, whatever.
Yeah, reconditioned, right?
Wasn't a bunch of them, I thought of, oh no, that was the picture things that were donated. We got those donated, not the computers.
They are maxed out on their operating system.
Oh, they're not gonna take the next,
That's why this is the last.
So that
year
means they
they'll
don't have
run.
any value.
well, it doesn't mean they, but the problem is, do they have enough value for us to deal with going through the surplus process? Will we ever get Kelly's time back?
We
in
have to
value?
surplus them, it's just what do we do when we surplus them? Sell them as a lot, probably.
And that's the other thing about sticking with a used product, right, is like, how do you budget for and how do you guarantee that you can get on an adoption? It's one thing to need like 20 of something, it's a whole nother thing that when you start needing 60 and you can't guarantee and you can't budget for it and like the switch to Chromebooks is it just makes so much sense.
But, so if you wanna sell them or try to get rid of them in a lot, keep in mind that, I don't know if when we got them, he was telling me, Doug was telling me that half of them are under one program, the other half are a totally different program, and he was telling me he can't get them all on one program.
Our iPads
So-
are the same.
I'm not sure how that's going to play into selling them all at once, in
Yeah,
one
well,
lot.
we won't worry about it now, but it's something to think about, because we will have to declare them excess, but we can't access them and get rid of them until they're totally wiped clean too, so,
No,
Yeah.
we have to do that.
yeah. And Eric,
and
you're
we can-
thinking about just budget for, a routine, so many replaced every year or whatever, every 3 years, replace them every 5 years.
Somewhere
find
in
out
that
what
3 to 5 year
Chromebooks usually are.
lifespan, and
Yeah,
if you build that little bit of extra in, then you're also dealing with failures.
right.
And what we'll find over the first few years is it worth it to like put stuff on a 3-year warranty or
Well, and that's what, we had a long conversation with ESD about, and they were like, do not buy the protection plan with the Chromebook,
Yeah.
just buy the extra couple.
right? It makes a lot more sense on a $2,000
Right, yeah,
laptop
Than a $400.
Yeah.
I think trying to sell them be like trying to sell that old bus out there.
Mhm.
No one's really gonna know.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
use
Oh,
for it, but
there's
it's,
probably
yeah,
some,
there'll be a
it might
screen
be.
for home automation.
How much do you want for
and
that old
kind
bus out there?
Are you interested?
I might be, how much is,
We'll talk,
what do you want for it? Does it run?
It runs,
I'll have
but,
to kick the tires too.
So that is the plan, and, we can get them up and running and in kids' hands before spring break.
Nice.
Before spring break? Wow.
Or right at the spring break. time.
This year then, nice.
Oh, yes,
This
they need it for testing. They
Okay.
will be taking their test on it.
Okay.
And the nice thing is that because it's the reason we're doing it this year is for the test, they don't really need to become familiar with the machine itself for the test, because the test is in a secure browser. The only thing they'll be doing,
So they don't, no instruction.
right, they're gonna be reading and typing, and
So there you go.
there you
Yeah.
go,
Yeah,
And they're staying here, we're not sending them home
they
with
are
the kids.
not gonna go. We
Yeah.
can maybe down the road think about middle school doing it once we've gotten further into the adoption cycle, but
Yeah.
I think keeping them on campus is a better way to go, especially given the need to connect to the internet.
Yeah, I was taking care of my grandkids a couple of weeks ago for several days. And my grandson brings his Chromebook home and he's got a nice foam pad. It goes in, it's got the school logo on it, but he had assigned homework. So I could see in the future that it's a possibility that he also want to see how the teachers, what the teachers want.
That definitely increases the risk factor.
Yeah,
of
that's
damage.
it. That puts us more at the 3-year mark than I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for the 5-year. I would like to see them make it through more than one classroom with most students anyway. I think this will be really great. I think this will be game changing for a lot of ours.
A lot of kids try to make all laptops into like, even though the hinge only goes to here, they're like sitting on it in bed.
They lose
I
all
think
over.
that's probably one of the biggest things is in bed and falling off the couch and
Oh, yeah.
Eating and
that kind
drinking,
of stuff. Yeah.
Eating,
Food on it.
yeah, food,
yeah.
but liquid, yeah, but yeah.
So
Maybe they ought to just stay at school.
there we go. That's it. Kind of short and sweet.
Okay, any questions for Kelly on how she's doing?
How you doing, Kelly?
So did, you ever get a report back on grades? I remember last month we were talking about, grades and I thought you said something about, you would know, last quarter or last semester, you'd have the grades for of how everybody's doing it, at least K through 8. 'Cause that was mostly my concern was K through 8.
Oh, their diagnostic data? So
Oh,
we have finished the diagnostic. We have not completely finished going through the data. So I will bring that to the board in March.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just for standardized testing?
yeah, just the benchmarking,
Yeah,
yeah. It's all done. It looks, there was some really, I would say there was some really great growth made, specifically in mathematics and Jennifer in
Yeah.
some places. Almost finish that sentence, pull it back. There were some really great highlights of growth in mathematics throughout the building.
Good.
But I will prepare a district-wide or a building-wide report for the board for March. We're still working on some of the reading
Yeah.
data, just because I want the teachers to dig into their own data, and so I haven't been preparing it as much myself as I
Right.
have been walking through it with them. So it is taking more time than it would if I just did it.
Okay.
But the testing, done, except for the last little bit of core phonics screening,
Yeah.
which is something that we do to help us inform our instruction for students who need.
Didn't you have a lady coming in and helping with phonics?
We had, for a little bit, we've had some different supports throughout the
Yeah.
year. Right now, we've got a really good tier 2 title program going.
Okay.
So, we've got our MTSS framework really starting to take good shape.
Mhm.
We've identified students that are meeting grade level benchmarks and students who need additional supports.
Yeah.
And the students who need additional supports are being placed into, for reading title groups and for math intervention groups, and using our paraeducators to support them with different types of interventions. So in reading, we've got a program that we're using that really digs into comprehension, and so we're monitoring growth that way. Our paras are doing a really good job of working with students in that way, and then we've got in math, we've got our paraeducators offering math support through small group intervention, helping really hone in on some skills for students who are not at grade level in different mathematics
Yeah.
areas.
So it sounds like you have plenty of help then.
We do. I think we're good. There'll be, when we start talking about what next year looks like, there's some things that are strategic that I think we might be able to do to utilize what we have a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think we're in a better position than I thought we were when I started this year.
So it's not like you need another para or anywhere, any specific area or anything like that?
I would not say that right now I would be asking for another para.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we just need to be strategic about how we use our people.
Right. Good. Well, now I can't wait until next month to see what,
You wanna see some pie charts, some pie graphs? It'll be great.
Make them 3D.
what you
So
do.
these aren't the star 365,
360.
360, it's not the same test.
No, but it's like that. It's the same thing, just we just used a different test.
Nice.
And hopefully next year we'll be using Ready for both. I have a meeting between now and March to get more information on the cost of going with reading.
Well, I still have last year's pie chart, so. It's like-
All the pie charts,
Yeah,
maybe pie two, we'll see.
They were kind of a big deal.
Okay,
When was our meeting?
17th.
Oh. It's not the 14th.
not pie day.
I-
I was with you,
17th.
maybe leftover pie.
Oh, there you go. Leftover pie chart day.
You know, I still got an apple pie filling that I made for my apples from the tree. Trees.
What kind of apple?
Okay, any other questions
Can't
for
remember.
Kelly?
They're good though.
All right, let's move on to a review of policies. We'll start with the second reading of policy 3210. 3210 is written a little bit differently than most policies. It basically says the district shall adopt a non-discrimination statement, and so it kind of goes in with that and explains that. Are there any discussions, any questions?
This is our second reading.
It is, yes.
Got it. And it was basically the whole thing was rewritten.
Basically.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to like get my head back on where we were on the point.
Yeah.
Well, this
Yeah.
one was, so I think that,
And I apologize, I did not take the strike and turn the text black, it's still red drawn.
No, I figured it out.
But the reason that, 3205 is not here for its second reading is because between the time I brought it to you for the first reading and the second reading, they changed it again. So, there's a whole lot going on in the land of the non-discrimination genre of policies, hence the significant changes to 3210 where they just rewrote the whole thing.
So this is the rewritten model policy.
This is the rewritten one, at least as recently as the last time I looked it up.
As
Not gonna lie.
provided by Wildlife.
I have
We made no
not-
changes.
I have not looked it up again to see if it has changed again. You might see it again in the near future.
Okay.
I do not know as to whether anything in this entire genre of policies will be stable anytime soon.
I really like
Understood.
page 4. Page 4 is awesome.
The one with one sentence.
Yeah, and all the rest is crossed out. That's perfect.
Cause that's the old policy.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Well, it was much easier to do that than,
Cross them out.
yeah, just change it.
So,
Poor Jessica at one point today, I'm like, wait, we are gonna put it on. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. No, we're not. Never mind.
We'll have so much coming at us, let's just get it done, and if they modify it, then,
We'll deal with it then.
we'll deal with it then, that's
Yeah.
right. Otherwise, we'll have too many to deal with, and we'll be reading the whole thing instead of a.
And then
A
not
minor change,
remembering
maybe.
back to when's, yeah, what it was, so, yeah.
So do you wanna move to approve this then?
Yeah, let's do each one of these as we discuss it,
It's red.
okay,
it is the second reading, so we kind of.
it is the second reading of this one, that's right, we have three of them, that was our second
Yeah,
reading.
all of these are approvable tonight.
Or do we
So
need to
this
do
is-
each one individually?
Well, we might as well get it off the table,
Oh,
policy 3210, non-discrimination.
I
Is
moved
there a
that,
motion to approve?
3210, we approve
Okay, is there a
as
second?
written.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve policy 3210 as presented.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill and Diane both did.
Yeah, sorry, I
It was a
didn't, I
tie.
should have looked up.
What? Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
I,
Okay, one down.
Policy 3206, I moved that we approved.
And this is a brand new policy, which is why there's no, text in this.
So, yeah, 3206 is the one about pregnancy and students. So it is a new policy. We talked about this a little bit at the last meeting.
And we would just add, today's date for the adoption date if, the board approves it.
It's encouraged, I don't see a reason not to approve it.
No, I don't have.
It's referenced in several of the other, policies. So
Okay, is there a motion to approve 3206?
I have made the motion already to approve
Oh, that-
3206.
And then I
It's
don't.
Need a
Your
second.
turn to approve the second
I'll
bill.
second it.
Okay, it's
guess
been
Bill did.
moved and seconded.
You put me down for it?
Been
She
moved
asked
and
Bill
seconded to
specifically.
approve policy 3206. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that one's approved as well. I'm sure Kelly really appreciates us getting that done. The last one that we have, this is the third reading of policy 5253, and I think Kelly just has a little bit to say. Last time I had brought up some requested changes. She talked to our attorney, and he, of course, is adamant that the district be protected and not any loopholes or
and
whatever. You can explain
yeah,
it.
so, the policy as, recommended from WASDA aligns with the professional standards. And so it really, one of the things that the attorney and I talked about is it's written in a way that it protects the district and really provides, staff with the guidelines of how to protect themselves as well. And so, sticking with the language in here was his recommendation versus, some of the changes that, Anita had brought. And so, one of the things that he said is that, straying from recommended policy usually is only a good idea if there's a really significant reason. And while the language recommendations were good, they would potentially put the district in a position where should we have the need to use this policy for corrective action, we may not be able to. It offered a way to do things that we are trying to prevent. And so in sticking with this, he felt that we would be in a better position.
The change we're making is the red lines.
Just the red line on, yeah, there's just a couple, and then we would need to change the revision date. since we've been looking at this one for a while.
But we've already,
We've looked at this one quite a bit.
this has already changes to something we already, approved. It's not showing up on here, right? I think we're missing a revision date.
We could be missing a revision date because we did approve it.
In May.
But
In May.
then the red lines came through, the two items in red came through and.
You mean after April?
Oh,
So there's an April
There's an
24.
April 24.
And 11 okay,
That's
got it.
probably
So
what it was, yeah.
Okay.
the 11/24, I think, is the first time this came before the
Got it. So-
board.
so
and
we'll
so
change
you
the
just need to
11 to-
Change the 11/24
February.
to 2/25.
yeah, okay.
I make a motion that we approve,
I-
5253.
Okay, is there a second motion on the table?
I second.
Okay, any comments or questions?
Looks good.
I have one, on the second page, the last line in red where it says the superintendent designee will develop protocols. I would prefer that it say superintendent, not superintendent designee. Superintendent can also always delegate.
Wouldn't that mean,
All that means is the superintendent or the
or the,
superintendent's
yeah, it's
designee.
not, it's not. the
It doesn't
super-
say or.
Yeah, but that's what the
that
slash.
Slash
means.
means.
Yeah.
I don't see a slash.
It's a superintendent
I have
slash.
a slash.
that-
Oh, I guess maybe mine.
Oh,
didn't
your print, is yours
My
print funny? Here.
print, my
Yeah.
print isn't,
Oh,
oh, mine isn't printed very well.
It says superintendent slash designee.
Slash designate.
Right.
Okay,
So
so
it's
so you're
okay.
right, yeah. Okay, any further questions or comments? The board previously has discussed the
I think,
procedures to go with this, and that'll come at some later time.
I think with some of your concerns, Anita, in the future, we could look at if there's a way to include parental consent for some things. That would be the way, that'd be the only thing that I think would go side by side, but I think that takes a little bit more work. We have to work more with the attorney, so I think it makes sense to approve this as it is right now.
What we talked about was really like in practice,
Yeah,
what needs to be happening is that exactly that, right? So like the communication goes between the adults, like, right? Like, so you just need to make sure that you're being protected, right? That the adults are involved. Like that's the layer of protection, like that you're not having unknown communication with children.
And I think that, one of the things that we had kind of just basically talked about is something a little bit different that recognizes the unique relationship of students and professors at PCIA.
right.
And that's where we could get parental consent or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it,
Yeah.
I think this is good. I think we wanna be protected. If it needs further development to address a need, we can look at that, but I think we wanna do it with legal
And
counsel.
we wanna keep our staff protected,
Absolutely.
right? Like, I think that's
Absolutely.
one of the, that's a really important piece of this, like, that this isn't just about protecting the district, this is about protecting our staff. And so, I think we're sitting in a really good place, and a lot of it will come down to, which is,
and these policies, we have to recognize the fact that any changes we make
Well, this,
without them being gone, I mean, lawyers.
Yeah.
All the people that, we don't wanna make a policy change that is gonna make it a more cumbersome and expensive.
Yeah.
To deal with.
Right, yeah,
If
and
this
Curtis
comes
has been awesome for us.
Well,
Great.
but we don't wanna have to spend the money
Right.
unnecessarily just because we make what we think, might be good, but
This-
you see, professionals have gone through these.
yeah, and this
But
is
Curtis
one,
went through this.
this is what Curtis drafted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Curtis,
Yeah.
yeah, he went through
Mhm.
it, and he and Kelly did a lot of communication on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, so,
Okay,
So are we gonna vote on it?
that's right, we have a motion on the floor, any further discussion? And was it second?
I already wrote
It was,
Yeah,
yeah.
It was,
it was
okay,
second.
all right, all in favor say aye,
Aye.
I,
anyone opposed? Okay,
Well, that's good, because I already wrote approved on the top of my copy.
and as Kelly mentioned, 3205, which we had our first reading in January. Second reading is again postponed until we
It will,
receive further
it will
updates.
probably come back to you as a first reading again, because it is so
Okay.
dramatically different. I just don't know when, because I don't know that it will be the same by the time I look at it tomorrow.
Perfect.
All right, is there any public comment? No.
We could just get a 3205 section.
Can we just,
Like,
I-
here's 3205 this month.
you know, one thing I will tell you that I have done wisely this year is the course that I'm taking for my doctorate is inclusive systems. And they let us pick our own like topic. So of course I picked Title IX because it's all I'm like, right? I'm
Yeah.
writing my research paper on it. And it's half of my job right now. So it's like a twofer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Nice.
it's very timely.
Did they ever fix the heat in this?
They did. It's not very warm.
It's cold
Oh, this
outside.
Here's why I'm warm, there's
Yeah.
a space heater right here.
There's your heater.
Okay, now,
There's another one in there.
So first thing I asked him on my drive in today, I'm like, do we have heat in the library? He's like, we should. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not done. I totally skipped this pile that Anita, or that Lisa gave me. Can we go back? Can I have another turn?
Oh,
No,
okay.
no,
She'd be
we've
so
moved
mad at
on.
me. Remember when I said the treasurer's been nice to us?
oh, yeah.
So the treasurer, let us know that we did most of the things right, and they wanted a couple more resolutions from us. So I'm taking another turn, if that's okay. I'm really going off script today.
Less dessert,
Is that
less
like
alcohol.
3 more?
But just consider this under
So-
good of the order.
There's a resolution for authorization of facsimile signature. Do I have to read the whole thing?
Okay.
She wasn't asking.
Oh.
Yeah. She said, do I have to? She didn't say, can I? You can just
No,
pass,
you don't
pass it
have
around.
to.
Do I have to read the whole thing?
Just pass it around.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
There's a resolution for. These contacts are not working out. Certified signatures of district personnel authorized to sign school construction project documents. Establishing investment officer for Mill A School District number 31. Designation of district agent. And authorization of warrant signature.
So you're gonna have an investment officer now?
So they
Right,
just reached out to Lisa and just said, hey, we got your paperwork, we're just looking at it, by the way. We need these two.
So the ones that establish, who are both of them Lisa, or are they you?
They're all for me.
Okay,
Yeah, they're all for my signature with the treasurer. All of them.
Okay.
So we'll
what-
go
So
Just out
yeah,
of curiosity, what's your rate of return?
4.7.
Oh, I'll stick with my CDs.
well, okay. Done.
We have to pass these, right? We can pass those a bunch.
I mean, if
Okay,
you want
so
me to
they're not-
sign
they're not-
anything, you do.
They're not gonna be effective till September. Oh, this is September 24th.
It goes back to when I
Oh,
became
okay.
the superintendent, yeah,
Okay.
it says as of when I was the superintendent and we're signing it
Yeah.
today. Yeah, so it's saying I became the superintendent on the date I was sworn in.
I just was thinking it was meeting.
Oh, yeah, no,
Next September, and I mean, this year, and I'm going, where?
so we're all signing these, but we will,
Pass these.
we'll have to have a motion on the floor.
Yeah.
We will have to get a motion going.
I move that we approve all of those that we're signing.
You can list them
Oh,
individually.
We'll replace the words, all those with a bunch of numbers.
when we give it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. the treasurer was very, very awesome when we,
With 2024, 25, 06, 07, 04, 05.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7,
Like
was there
making
just
work
4 of
show up
them?
on the video.
Yeah.
There's
There's 5.
these. Oh, 5 of them.
Yeah.
5, oh, and
We
8,
signed two.
And 08.
Yeah.
and 0.
I got so excited about the Chromebooks.
Looks like you're getting crumbled.
Oh, me too.
I thought my kids left me behind as far as technology goes. My grandkids are way back now.
I know, it doesn't make you feel just,
Oh.
yeah. Why couldn't you already do- oh.
I do a lot of texting now, and, this lady that I text every morning, driving the bus,
I
she
do.
texts me back, TY. And I had to ask her, what is TY? What do you mean TY? She goes, thank you. Oh, okay. I really feel old now.
So you respond back, YW. You're welcome.
Right. I even know.
YW. that's what it
YW.
is.
There's so much I don't know,
Yeah.
that it's just like.
See, I don't do that. I hit the little thumbs
Oh, yeah,
up button.
okay, that was-
Oh, there you go.
It's aggressive.
I was,
Yeah,
yeah.
So, yeah, see,
The thumbs up.
the one thing that I learned was, don't capitalize
If you're-
everything.
But if you do the two thumbs up,
That's supposed to be yelling at you.
Oh,
if it's a cute
yeah,
character.
you
maybe I'll-
capitalize,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to
Don't
be careful-
capitalize.
careful which emojis you use.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You do.
you just.
Now I believe
I think my mom finally figured out that LOL is laugh out loud, not lots of love. You don't tell people LOL when they say someone died.
I had my,
Lots of love, no, mom.
I had my boss send me LOL one time and I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't even know. I kind of felt bad about it. And then she said, no, laugh out loud. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I should still be rocking a Razor flip phone. That's where my technology is.
Okay, so let's entertain a motion to approve the resolutions
Keith-
presented
Keith
to us
made it.
by the treasurer.
I make a
for
motion
Kelly,
again.
Resolution 004 or 2425-004, 005, 006, 007, and 008.
I make another motion to approve.
It's the same one.
Should-
It's the same one.
We just gotta make sure it's all written.
Yeah,
I got it.
said
The chair just didn't
appropriately.
recognize it
Has to be
she's,
said
she's got it
appropriately,
covered, yeah.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion or comments? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Okay, anyone opposed? No, all right.
Thank you. And then people who get their paycheck, thank you. Actually sign things now.
Can I just make a motion that we approve the calendar?
Are we
Not
done?
that I'm jumping ahead or anything.
Well, do we had any old business, new business, or good for the
I,
order?
I do have a couple of things. One is that we received a letter from the auditor regarding, they didn't have a resolution appointing you. And that resolution was made by ESD. Did we send that down to the auditor?
That's his key, yes,
Okay.
that is Keith's position,
Right.
yes.
And then, so I also, the letter also had on it the dates of the positions that expire. I'll just give one to Diane because yours expired. And if anybody else wants a copy of the letter, there's the. So Diane and I are up for reelection. And apparently Keith doesn't have to run because he was appointed to fill a term that was vacant. I thought you had to run in the next election, but he
What?
doesn't say that here. So apparently you do not have to run in this upcoming election.
ESD, when we were at the hearing,
Pardon?
ESD, when we were at the hearing, made a
Okay.
comment that it was for the full term.
Pull the bird. Okay,
Yeah, I remember.
great. So you don't have to run for election, just Diane and I.
I wasn't going to.
So now you're going darn.
I thought November, so no, what you're saying is November is not the end of this for me?
No, it's obviously 2027.
You are,
You're stuck.
you're having too much fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
But the other
That's one
thing
way to
I was
put it.
just gonna say is that I had said that I would draft an MOU for the school and the fire department so that the fire department could pay the school and access diesel. And I've gotten just barely started on that. And I need to have permission from the fire department commissioners before I bring it to the school district, so. There'll be a little bit going on there to make sure I get that drafted up. And then the fire department says thank you to Tim for plowing in front of the fire hall, which he would have to do anyway so cars can get around, but he just does a really good job.
And it's nice of them to say thank you. And
I think it's important, yeah, because you could leave a berm in front of the door if you wasn't careful.
We're all chained up, so we
Yeah,
can drive.
we got changed.
Yeah,
We wouldn't fit out of the garage.
yeah,
We had to go over.
yeah, no kidding, huh?
Take the lights off.
Okay, so next is approval of the calendar as presented by Kelly.
Oh, now we've already got.
Yeah, got a motion.
On the on the
Yeah,
All
floor.
right.
I made a motion.
He's way ahead
Approve
of me
it.
for sure.
Yes,
Is there a
he's trying to
second?
hurry this along so he can.
I'll
get
second it.
I get up
Okay,
at 5
moved and
o'clock in the
seconded
morning.
to approve the calendar for 25.
Wait,
Yeah,
Keith moved, Bill
Keith
seconded.
and Bill second.
thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so
We
the
run along.
last item on our agenda is in the executive session. And that's unless anyone has anything else that they wanted to bring up. All right, let's adjourn for an executive session.
Can I get a drink of water while we?
Sure. Okay, so we're back in session at 8:21. Is there anything else anyone wants to bring up? If not, we'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
You can just adjourn.
All right, we're adjourned.
By general consent.
By general consensus. That's
Yeah.
it.
Good night.
There you go.
Okay.
Come on, see you next month.